Hi guys, I received another revelation. I'm gonna be so honest with you, and I have to give you this warning, child. I have to give you this warning. Anyone that is very sensitive, like Stephanie, sensitive in the spirit, like Stephanie, if you know you can't hear certain things because it may trigger something, you're like, man, I don't even think I'm having a good day. I don't even want to hear this right now. Or if you have a kingdom spouse, let's just say that, kingdom partner, and you're going through some things with your kingdom partner, you may be going through some like rejection, or you may be going through rejection, abandonment, or something because they're not ready yet, or because God said it's not time yet. This may trigger you. So I'm just giving you the warning now, but if you're open to hearing what I have to say, So I was listening to Uncle Tony Gaskins yesterday actually, when I was packing some orders, and he was mentioning something about Adam and Eve, and how basically the woman is created, how basically men and women need each other. A woman needs a husband and a husband needs a wife, and it's equal on both sides. It's not one person needs each other more. But he brought to the attention how, in the video, how Eve was created for Adam. Adam wasn't created for Eve, but Eve was created for Adam. Like, God literally created a woman for Adam, basically, so he wouldn't be lonely, so he would have a wife, he would have someone. Two are better than one, right? And when he was explaining all of that, I was like, that's exactly what a kingdom marriage is. Just like God created Eve for Adam, right? God created you for your kingdom partner, or God created your kingdom partner for you. Like, God created you for each other. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, God, because a lot of people say they don't believe in kingdom marriages. They think it's fake. There's no real thing as a kingdom marriage, and you have free will to love who you want to love and be with who you want to be with, and God will still support that. And that is true. You do have free will. That is true. But just like the Bible says, many are sent, but a few are chosen. God definitely will assign to his chosen ones a person for them. That is equipped enough to understand what they're going through in the spirit, equipped enough to handle the assignments that he is given. So both parties will be equipped enough to handle assignments and equipped enough for each other, because it will be very hard for someone who does not have specific gifts or who does not have a specific calling to understand a person that is walking with God. And it's possible that they can come together, yes, because the Bible does say that if your wife or husband's not a believer, they can end up becoming a believer through you, right? God can work through them. So it is possible. But there are specific cases where, when God has a chosen one, he will assign another chosen one to you, because he puts you guys together. It's like, yes, free will is involved, but God is like, I'm making this person for you specifically. Just like God said, I'm making this woman for Adam, right? So the thing about it was, when God made Eve for Adam, and Uncle Tony said this, and this is where it really hit me. When God made Eve for Adam, there was no other options. It was just Eve, right? So even though there was deception, all that stuff went on, there was no deception when it came to like fornication, when it came to adultery, when it came to, that was their deception. Her biting the forbidden fruit was the deception, the serpent and everything. But in our cases, the deceptions are going to be different. The deceptions may not be us biting a forbidden fruit because it already happened. The deception may be witchcraft, love spells, separation spells, rejection, abandonment. Also remember something. God created Eve for Adam, but there was no other options around. So even though Adam had free will to be with Eve or not, if she's the only woman there, of course he's going to accept it, right? You know, because it's God's will for him. But so it's not going to be as easy for Adam to be distracted, right, from the assignment. Where in our cases, there's so much distractions. It's very hard for a kingdom husband or a kingdom wife to really come to their senses about the journey when there's so much distractions going on. This is why a lot of us, you know, who God tells, hey, I have a specific husband for you. I have a specific wife for you. You have free will. You can go out there and do whatever you want because you have free will. I gave you free will. However, obedience is better than sacrifice, and this is what I have for you, right? So it's God will tell us, and we have that choice whether we're going to listen to him or not. But we know that obedience is better than sacrifice, right? Whereas, you know, we're not responsible for our kingdom wives or kingdom husbands' decisions. If God tells them, hey, I have someone for you, they may choose to not be obedient. They may choose to want to be with someone else, or they may choose to hold on to someone else, or they may still be in love with someone else, although that may not be the person for them. And it can sting and it does hurt. And this is why many of us who are in kingdom marriages, this is why God has a lot of us separated until it's the right time to come together, because we have to obey when it's the right time to come together. We can't go ahead into that assigned kingdom marriage when God has not said it's time to go into it, or we're gonna be heartbroken. We're gonna get hurt. We're gonna get betrayed. We're gonna get, you know, because you may be all in, but the other party may not be 100% all in, right? And in today's day and age, it's not like Adam and Eve back in the day where there was no other distractions or options other than what they were distracted by. There's so much deception in today's age. There's like so many other men and women. There's Jezebel spirits, there's witchcraft, there's love spells, there's all this type of stuff that we have to fight. So whenever I hear people say, oh, if God has a person for you, y'all are just supposed to come together and done. There's not supposed to be no complication, no problems, no nothing, no this. You're supposed to just come together and done. And, you know, but people don't understand it's not that easy. We're not in the times like back then. There's a lot going on in this world today. We're in the last days, and there's a lot of things going on in the world today that is demonic and evil. And there's a lot of distractions, and because of a lot of this stuff, yes, God will tell some of us to put a pause on it and to just wait and be patient with him, because it's not about us, but it's about also the other party receiving deliverance, right? And the reason why it's so painful too is because with all that going on, sometimes even like let's just say the kingdom wife knows and they were loyal to the assignment, but the kingdom husband wasn't loyal to the assignment, and because of the distractions and options and all that stuff, by the time the kingdom husband says, okay, I'm finally ready to be loyal to the assignment, the kingdom wife is gonna feel discouraged, right? And feel like she's not loved, like she's not accepted, right? So this is why God does allow there to be space between and separation until it's time to come together, because now that kingdom wife has to heal. You see what I'm saying? And now that kingdom husband, or vice versa, now that kingdom husband has to heal, because that is still a form of betrayal to the other party, and that is still painful to the other party. Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, it's like this is not for the weak. It's like a kingdom marriage is not for the weak, just like being a chosen is not for the weak, right? It's not an easy journey. So I I want to just give you that revelation about the Adam and Eve, and about like how it's harder for kingdom marriages today, because today there's a lot more of that going on, and some people have to be delivered from love spells, from separation spells. And you have to also remember too, if the other party has free will and they choose not to obey God, that's not your fault, but you also can't be mad at them. But God is not going to leave you to be single and be lonely, right? God will let you know if that's your case. But at the same time, it's a very painful journey. It is a very painful journey, and there can be some heartaches and pain. And that's why there's a lot of people who know who their person is, they're not with their person right now, because it's not the right time, because of everything going on, and because God has not told them to come together, because there's things that have to be cleared out, emotions, feelings, etc. But this is why it's so painful, because one person could be all in, but someone else may not be all in, right? So that was going to come with a lot of pain, rejection, abandon. It's going to make you feel all types of ways, right? So especially if you're connected in the spirit and you can see all things, it's almost like it's in your face. So it's like, it's so painful. When I heard Uncle Tony Gaskin talking about Adam and Eve, even though he didn't say all this, he just talked about how like God created Eve for Adam, and basically how, you know, women and man are equal in that way, because, you know, God made Eve direct specifically Adam, etc., etc. I was receiving the revelation literally about how like today compared to back then, how there was no distractions, there was no other options, and it was, you see what I'm saying? And you know, and it makes sense as to why it's harder for a lot of God's women today and men today to really connect with their person right away, because of everything going on, especially if you are chosen, especially if you are chosen and you have a specific assignment for God's kingdom. The devil's gonna ensure and make sure that he causes chaos in order to try to block you two from coming together, right? And it's like one person may be aware of all this and the other person may not be aware of all this. This is why patience is so important when it comes to kingdom marriages. Patience is so important when it comes to kingdom marriages. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. Yeah, because a lot of people would they're so against kingdom marriages, and they think it's just like this toxic thing, and God would never assign you to be with someone. And God does do that. God does assign you to be with someone, but remember, it's not like back in the day. It's, you know, there's a lot of things going on today, and it's no different from like, you know, you're about to have your next breakthrough at a job, and then the devil tries to use people to block you from receiving that job. All these distractions come in, all these, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, when Adam and Eve, when God created Eve for Adam, there was no counterfeits around. Do you see what I mean? So there was no way for Adam to fall in love with someone else, or to be bewitched by another woman, you know, or seduced by another woman. You see what I'm saying? The deception came from the serpent and the apple. There was no other way for Adam to like fornicate and do all that. It's when others came in, it's when all that started to happen, and seduction, porn, addictions, you know, options, and you know what I mean? It's like when God tells you, hey, I want you to walk with me, I want you to accept the call, and I want you to wholeheartedly walk with me and accept your assignment. Look how many people were called but never accepted the call. But look how many people accepted the call and they're now chosen. It's the same thing with the kingdom marriages. Not every kingdom marriage person's going to accept the call in order to accept the assignment, right? Because God still gave us free will. But that can cause a lot of pain in some people. And here's how you'll know as well, because what will happen is God knows things before it happens. He knows if the person's going to eventually come around, or he knows if you guys are going to be able to be together, right? As in, like, if the person's going to change their ways, if they're going to come around and they're going to want to finally accept the call, accept the assignment, right? God knows all that. So if the person is not going to accept the assignment, God will definitely tell you. So he won't have you sitting and waiting, or, you know, you're being patient with him if he knows that person's not going to accept. God will let you know ahead of time, hey, that person ain't going to accept the call. I'm going to heal you. And God understands that, and that's where a lot of healing comes in. But God will heal you. His blessings are not going to come with sorrow. So he will definitely heal you, and he will definitely bring you the right person, obviously. But it does happen, okay? I had to just talk to you guys about that because it's a very painful journey for many people. But anyways, I love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye.